How's it going? It is episode 75 of Franco's World. This episode would be considered young if it were running for office today because old dudes seem to be in right now. Old dudes are sweeping the nation. Old dudes are winning left and right. If it's really in depth, deep, really make you think election talk that you're looking for, you're gonna end up disappointed, and I'm gonna end up out of a job. Today, we're going to joke around as always. I do want to talk a little bit about some of the things that have passed, some of the things that people voted for, maybe some local events, because you see the biggest change in local events. Let's see here. Housekeeping stuff. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Franco's World _. Next week, I plan on getting some funny people on here. I'm very curious if I could get like a 3-person thing going on. Maybe try a 3-person thing. This episode, I'm not going to keep you very long, again, because we are just absolutely bogged down, getting drowned out with information. So it's like, what more could I say as a podcaster in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia? What more could I say that you haven't already heard? I'm not going to come up with some like miraculous thought that's just like, oh wow, well we need to listen to this guy. Okay, like fact of the matter here is that like we've heard everything, so I don't know how I could be much different. I mean, I'm just going to give you the jokes. It's really all it is. So let's start out by this. Let's talk about some stuff here. Quick election rundown. Like I said, I don't really want to get into in depth with it. Um, right now we don't know who the president's going to be. I guess it's trending Biden. And there's going to be a big hoopla about the mail-in ballots, which Trump, he did play that perfectly. If you are watching from like this sort of lens where it's like what makes for the best content, it's like Trump has been preaching for months that like these mail-in ballots are going to be rigged and it's going to be a whole rigmarole. And obviously, he's going to take it to the Supreme Court, but it has to get through other courts first, lest we forget that. But I mean, we knew this was going to happen. I mean, it's a layup. It's a layup that he's going to be. It's just going to add to the conspiracy, and it's going to cause more divide in the country. And I really thought. So let's talk about bets then on the presidential election. As we know, I'm a gambler, and I put a couple bets out there. Only 2 though. There was too much juice on Biden to win the presidency. I really, from a strictly gambling standpoint, I thought Biden was going to win. Looking at analytics and everything, I thought Biden was going to win. This has nothing to do with who I want to win. This is strictly who I thought was going to win. I thought Biden was going to win, and the juice on him was minus 190. That was too much. Too much risk involved there. And then I think it was a good yesterday was a good lesson in what gambling numbers can do to people. And if you aren't well versed in it, if you don't know, then you're going to get taken to the cleaners. And I'll explain that to you here in a minute for those that maybe are curious about gambling or maybe curious to see how it works. I will explain to you that. I will explain that to you. So Biden, I put money on him to win 2 states. Put money on him to win North Carolina for the reason that the North Carolina, Hillary barely lost North Carolina, and I thought that Biden was going to win more of that. Well, lesser of the 2 evils. I thought the people that used that as their voting ploy last year, which we now know is just an excuse. We now know that they didn't care about the lesser of the 2 evils. That was just something that they said to be liked socially. They thought that was something they can get by with saying was, well, I'm voting for lesser of the 2 evils. That was their ploy. Okay, we now know that that is not true. The people that used the lesser of the 2 evils votes in North Carolina still went with Trump. And Biden has never been considered evil at all. So we know that that was a lie. And then there's that. So I took that information into account. I said Charlotte has an influx of people every year, a major metropolitan area. I felt like Biden was going to do really well there, and then you see places like Franklin County. Ironic that it has my namesake. I've never cared about Franklin County, North Carolina in my life, and here I am sweating out a poll from Franklin County, North Carolina, being like, can I somehow get 48% of that vote to keep me hanging on as a Biden better? as a person that bet Biden in North Carolina. I think North Carolina is going to end up going to Trump, so that's a loss right there. I just really thought that people hated Biden less than Hillary, so I thought he would get that middle ground vote. And as we've seen all over the country, people thought that Biden being a centrist guy and kind of foregoing some of the far left ideologies, they thought that wow, I really am giving it in depth stuff. Okay, never mind then. I guess I'm giving the in depth stuff today. But Biden sort of foregoing these really far left ideologies, it's it hasn't really done anything. Has not done anything. So those centrist people are still backing Trump, as we've noticed. The other bet I made, and this one is really funny, and I made it Arizona. I thought Biden. I have two bets out there. Biden to win North Carolina. I have already chalked that up as a loser. Biden to win Arizona. Splitsville. I'm in Splitsville. It's not a bad place to be. Biden winning Arizona. That one right there is the John McCain factor. And Biden winning the greater Phoenix area. I forgot the name of that county. If you win that county, you're basically going to win Arizona. Fact of the matter. And I think that the attack Trump had on John McCain just absolutely blasted John McCain. It's kind of disgusting, really. And as far as crossing over party lines, McCain was a guy who at least had respect for the competitor. I think we've reached a point in society where we don't have respect for the competitor at all. And I think there's a guy like, I mean, look at Joe Manchin in West Virginia Senate, Democratic senator from West Virginia. He kind of is going to be a really important guy these next few years because he's a guy that'll play on both sides of the field here. He's a guy that's in the middle and will vote for certain things, this or that. He's an interesting guy, so make sure you watch for that. It's probably going to be the only time West Virginia's important because West Virginia just went red and absolutely voted against everything that could have helped them get out of last place education, last place, wealth, last place healthcare, last place opioid addiction, last place this and that, everything under the sun. Is kind of sad. And I want to talk about betting standpoint real quick. I got to finish my betting point, and then I'll get to the drug thing because a lot of people voted on legalization of marijuana. So we'll talk about that for in a second. And I'm not even being funny. I'm just going in depth analysis here. Betting. So let's talk about some more betting stuff. Maryland just legalized sports betting. Great, good, grand, wonderful. It needs to be legalized everywhere. It's really not that big of a deal. Just make sure you govern it to where if you are a professional athlete, this and that, you probably shouldn't be gambling or throwing games. And I heard Michael Francis, the guy I've been preaching about, that he's just a great public speaker and everything. He's a former mob boss and everything. He did his pitch talking about sports betting. He did his pitch as if I were an athlete. Not to me. He did this via YouTube. He pitched himself as if he were a mob guy in the club talking to a college athlete. Buddy, if I'm that college athlete, I'm having a hard time turning that down. And once you're in bed with the mob, you're in bed with the mob. So we saw all these numbers last night. And I had my friends who are not necessarily well versed in gambling, but know a little bit, panic a little bit. In the middle of the afternoon, you see things, or in the middle of the night last night, Trump minus 600. Minus 600 is a huge number. Minus means you're favored. For those that don't know, plus sign means you're an underdog, which is ironic. That was something I didn't understand in the very beginning. But Trump being this mega, mega, mega favorite, when people gamble on politics, a lot of the time it's men, and a lot of the time it's people who gamble with solely their heart instead of their head. So there's a gambling guy who I trust with a lot of my money. Ironically, trust a gambler with your money, and he has been straight up and down like 6 o'clock. Trump landslide, Trump, 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 and it's not looking that way. And it's because he's a guy who maybe bets with his head here, or bets with his heart. I'm an idiot. Bets with his heart, and it's weird. It is really weird. When it comes to politics, people kind of forego any sort of statistical analysis, and it's just like, okay, who do I want to win? So minus 600, the reason that books are doing things like that, and I will tell you why books are doing things like that, is because they want to get suckers to fall for the marketing of, oh my God, just for this example, oh my God, Trump is going to win. It is over. You saw Portnoy last night, Dave Portnoy talking about, oh, it's over. Okay, minus 600, minus 700, whatever. They see these big numbers and they're like, oh, well, it's over, it's over, it's over. Okay, put all your money in on Trump. And you get these suckers that will go bet. I don't know. I can't do the mathematics in my mind right now. Say it's minus 500. You bet $50 to win like, I don't know, 10 or something like that. So you have to bet so much more to even get back to like, uh, decent odds. It's like if some guy I just saw a British guy put like 5 million in on Trump winning at like minus 500. And I'm just thinking like they do that because they think it's a sure thing. They see a big number like that, they're like there's no way that can go down. But then once people gamble on it, it kind of changes the odds. And I want to tell you another thing about Vegas, folks. Vegas was not built on winners. And this can be about football too. When you see a number, okay? When you see a number and it's like, what the heck? Why is that team favored by 5.5 points? They are a horrible team. They should be a 1 point favorite, if that. Okay, that's a sucker bet. But two, Vegas is not setting lines for who is going to win and who is going to lose. Vegas is setting lines on what's going to get them a 50-50 split in the money. Okay? So when you see these big numbers, don't be like it's over, it's over, it's over. What they want to do, and especially with politics, because politics, it's not necessarily statistical. It's a lot of the people are betting with their heart. They want you to put 500 to win 100. Dumb bet, don't do it, no value in it. So that's what it is. It's a 50-50 split because if they wouldn't put a line up minus 600 if they knew for sure that Trump is going to run away with this in a landslide before most of the country's votes were even in. That right there is a marketing ploy to get people to vote to bet on Trump and then lose all their money. So that's really what it is. And I'm trying to help you out because I like to have good gambling karma. I want everyone to win. I want everyone to win. If you cheer for people to lose, you're a schmuck and a scumbag, and the gambling gods will look poorly upon you. They're a fickle group, the gambling gods. So my good buddy, sent me that. He goes, oh my God, dude, it's over. Biden's going to lose. Look at this. Minus 600, 700. I'm like, buddy, you need to relax. I know this site that put this number up. This site is a skeevy site. They want to get people to. Dude, you had to give your money to Iceland, okay? When I was in college, I was giving money to the country of Iceland to gamble, all right? It's not a very trustworthy company. And so when you see these lines, they want you to pounce on it. They'd be like, oh my God, Trump, surefire thing, put all my money in on it. And guess what? There's going to be a lot of college kids who aren't getting their rent on time this month because they bet it all on Trump to win at minus 500. So when you see a line, especially in politics, remember this, folks. It's a 50-50 split that Vegas wants because Vegas was not built on winners. And if everybody put their money on Trump, Vegas would lose money. And they don't want that. They want a 50-50 split in the money. So when you see that big number, again, it is not over. Now, when more information comes out, yes. But what, 4 or 5 states had been called? Nope, it's over. Relax, okay? Relax. So gambling, legal in Maryland, like I said, good, great, grand, wonderful. Should be legal everywhere. Again, some states legalize weed. Cool, good for them. I'm not a weed guy, but I don't have a problem with people doing it. Does that mean that we let the people out of prison that got locked up for small amounts of weed? Should we do that? Is that backdated? How does that work? The war on drugs has failed us, clearly, and it's time for something new. I want to talk about a local election. This is the only one I kind of cared about, and I'm not going to come out and solely endorse a certain politician, but I am going to endorse this person because I don't believe this person is a politician. This person is a person, and she lost, and it made me sad. Trish Pritchard running for House of Delegates in District 10 in West Virginia, my area of the greater Parkersburg area. She lost. There was 3 seats available. She did not get them. All 3 seats went to, and you guessed it, folks, Republicans. And now, the only thing that bothers me about that, because you like who you like, you vote for who you vote for. You can't tell me people are doing research on House of Delegates District 10 in Parkersburg. And so a lot of these people, and I know them because I don't want to air any dirty laundry out, but I know people in my family that have voted strictly based on the color that they align with. And they just go boom, 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 boom without getting to know the person. And Trish Pritchard, that's a person I trust. I've known her since I was a little kid. She's a great woman. I think she would have made a great leader. And she would definitely helped us out. And it's just sad that people will just look at a color and vote solely on the color. I think that is a dumb idea. I think we need to know the person individually, and that's all I have to say about that, really. So let's talk about stuff other than politics. And I don't know. It's not really. It wasn't really an in-depth political thing. It was more so a gambling thing. Because I said I don't want to talk. Yeah, I haven't really talked about like the election. Oh, I can go down to this and that, the mail-in votes and all this stuff. I don't really talk about that at length. So it's the holiday season. Holiday season is quickly approaching, and what's going to happen in the holiday season is, folks, here's what's going to happen. We are going to see an influx of couples pics. Oh no, the worst time of the year is finally here. We've got couples are posing on hay rides and blah, blah. I don't know the words. It's the worst time of the year. Couple pics. Couples pics. Let's talk about it. Couples pics, man. It's great that that's the love of your life. It is great that two people can share a bond like that. Very strong bond. Fantastic. I'm more so worried about the young, attractive women that aren't putting them up. Fellas, are you listening? The young, attractive women that aren't putting the couples pics up, and maybe you go back on their Instagram feed and they haven't deleted any of their old boyfriend posts, and so it's been in your mind. It's like, is this girl single or is she taken? What's the deal here? Well, here's a cheat sheet. When the holidays that are upcoming show up and there's no pic of the guy, I think you're good. I think you're good to shoot her a DM. You know, maybe she puts up an Instagram story and you reply with a witty remark. That always seems to be the play. That hasn't been done 1,000 times, and girls definitely aren't tired of that. It's great. All I know is that this holiday season, it will be like no other. We don't. We won't. We don't. Can we spend time with our families? We don't know. Can we go out and shop? Is it horrible? I go to the mall whenever I was back home. I am back home right now, but it's like I go to the mall once a year. Holiday season, boom. I'm definitely not doing that this year. You know what I do? I go to the game, not the video game store, but there's like a board game store, and I pick out a couple big puzzles, and that's my activities for the winter. My mom and I, we watch the nightly news with Lester Holt, and we work on puzzles, and that's what my mom and I do. And that's really all I got to say about that. Again, this I wanted to just I didn't really get to joke around a lot in here today. It was more so giving you gambling advice, and again, like they said in We Are Marshall, if it's a miracle you're looking for, well, you best keep looking because you're going to end up disappointed. I'm going to end up out of a job. So I'm not here to give you any sort of election miracle or a deep intellectual thought or some weird metaphor about which way the country is going. I really just kind of want to joke around. And so, yeah, it looks like Biden is probably going to win. It's going to be a whole thing. Trump's going to say there's collusion, there's this and that, and he did a really good job of saying, he did a really good job of setting that up before the election. He's just like, nope, 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 this is not good. We can't allow this to happen. And we're seeing it. It's like Trump supporters are showing up in person, and Biden supporters are doing it via mail. Very curious to see how it'll play out. I hate the fact that it's coming down to a state like Pennsylvania, a state that I used to live in, and I could have been. Watch it come down to one vote. And it's like, well, Franklin, if you lived in Pennsylvania and you were back registered in Pennsylvania, you could have done something. And I didn't, and that's on me, and that's something I gotta live with. So remember to tell your friends about the show so it can grow. If you have any suggestions on people you think are funny and you'd like to see me reach out to and try to talk to, let me know, and I will get them on the show. So best of luck to the candidate that I want to win, and the other candidate can piss off. See ya.